landscapes. Thought you might like just a few hints on laying out a landscape. I'm going to use light blue paper, going to start off with marker ink, just for the linear stuff. Also, in doing this, what I'm going to do is make a very rough outline of everything that I'm looking at, and then search for the shadows, for which I'm going to use black chalk, and the light, where it's really light, use white for that. And this is the scene that we're going to look at. And so, of course, the eye is immediately attracted to that arch of the bridge there. That's the top of the bridge, and it goes down into some trees there and down into some trees more quickly that side. We have a lot of shadow coming up that little piece under the bridge there, and then there's a date up there. The towpath of the canal goes under the bridge. You see that coming through there, and we'll just give some indication of trees there. On this side of the bridge, a lot of greenery. Actually, there's a little path that goes up there into the trees. The towpath itself comes in a line down there. This side of the canal, the one I'm sitting on, comes down there. It's fun for us because there's hardly anything there except trees, and those trees just indicate like this, actually breaking the side of the bridge there, which makes it attractive so that we don't see the whole tunnel, as it were, of the bridge. And again, all this greenery goes spilling down into the water from that side of the canal. It's almost like a hayfield. There is, in fact, some bramble over here. Torn the trousers on it. And down here, of course, is the river, and that is where the river goes. Now, that's enough of the marker, I think, and I shall use black pastel. At the moment, the shadows are, of course, under the trees more. This part here is all in pretty good light. Under the bridge, we get almost the blackest bit. And that shadow goes onto the towpath, and actually there is shadow on the water. At the moment, there is shadow too for some of the trees that are up here. Back with the pen, while I just indicate where they are, because they break the bridge height there and go out of shot. That's all I need for that at the moment. Now we'll use some bit of white to just highlight some of these pieces in the picture. It's particularly on the towpath. It's a little bit in places on the bridge and the tops of the trees. And I think that's where we'll leave it for today. We'll be coming back, of course, and putting in some colour, and also show you how to put the reflections in, because that's pretty important too. But for now, you'll see what is there. Bit rough, I suppose, but it gives us an indication of what we've got. So with this particular picture, I'll see you again in a week or so, and we'll go on from there.
Now, when I think about being down south, I think of warmth, sunshine, sailing the water. And what I'm going to make today is one of my favourite sailing ships, and it's a catamaran. Now, a catamaran actually means, well, it's a Sri Lankan word, and it means two logs which have been tied together to make a raft. And I'm going to make my catamaran today out of cork, which of course will float quite easily. And to start with, you need to make your two hulls, which I've got here. And these are actually strips of cork which I've stuck together. It's self-adhesive cork, and you can see that it will stick very securely. And then at the end here, you have a point. Well, I've cut this with a scalpel or an artist's knife into a nice point to make it look like a boat. And after that, you want to put on your deck, which is also made out of cork, and that just rests on the top like that. And if I just turn it over, you'll see for extra support, I've got some strips of cork and then 2 more supports at either corner. And these ones are quite clever because they're actually made from the points over here, like that, you see. When you cut them off, you save them, which is quite handy. Now, the next thing you want is your mast, and that is a stick of dowelling like this. And what you want to do is you want to make a hole in this dowelling, and I'll show you how I did that. You need one of these things. It's called a bradawl, and you have to be very careful when you use one of these because they're very sharp, so make sure you've got a surface. I'm going to use some cork here to make this hole, and I started making it. You have to hold it quite firmly like that. Make sure your fingers are away, and just turn it like that until it goes in a little way. And then you want one of these things. I'll show you what it is. It's called an eye, like that, and that just screws in here like this. You need a bit of pressure to get it in. My one's going quite easily, that's good. Just turn that round like that, and this will be for the rope to go through, which will hold the sail. And at the other end, I've got another one here, which will take the rope at the bottom of the mast, and then a clever little trick, using some paper fasteners, which I've attached with masking tape. The paper fasteners will actually just go round the dowelling like that. That's so that I can attach the sail so it won't just swing around. And that now is ready to go into your deck. So if I just lift this up, it pushes through and then it comes out the other end like that. You need to give it quite a hard push. It needs to be quite secure. And if I just take off some of the tape, I've got a little bit of tape at the back here, I can now stick this on. Now make sure the holes are in the right place. I'm going to do this so they don't stick out at either side like that. And is that right? Yes, I think that's just about right. And now you need your sail. Well, with the sail, you need another stick of dowelling because there's a boom which has to go across from the mast, and that's got the dowelling here like that. So if I just turn that round, a little hook at the end, pushed into the dowelling, and that just hooks on so that the boom can swing around like that, which I think is quite clever. And the sail is attached. You'll see this, it's quite clever too. It's actually got some stitching like that. It makes it look neat, and of course that's how a sail's actually made, which I think works quite well. And you've got a long piece of rope here, which is actually twice the length of the mast, and that's attached to the top of the sail, and that just threads through like this. You'll see, just threads through, pull it through. But before the sail's actually ready to go up, you need to attach the boom, which has another piece of string like this, and that goes through the top here. And you need to make a knot. Now, if you're good at knots, you'll like this bit. I don't know if I'm so good at these. You just make a knot like that, and another one there. And now, let's see, I think we're ready to pull the sail up. Let's just see how this works. Up it comes. There it is. I think it looks ready to sail. But before we do that, there's one little thing that I want to show you. This little piece at the front here, where I've got the 2 paper fasteners. You'll see how this works, because if you make a figure of 8 with the rope, like that, that holds the sail in position. And a little bit of rope attached to the back of the boom here, that's so that the sail doesn't move around, and that just ties on the back here. I've got some more paper fasteners. Can you see that? Just like that. There we are. Now, like all good sailors, make sure you keep your ropes tidy. And if you like my boat, why don't you write into us, send a stamped addressed envelope, and we'll send you a fact sheet. Right, now I hope this sails. Let's go and have a look. Over here we go. Now I've got a great big tank over here full of water. Tony, you can set my boat sailing now.
Really?
Hold that, there we are.
I should be honoured.
Will it
to
float?
lower it away. Of course it will float magnificently.
There
Look
we
at
are.
That.
And if you haven't got a tank like this, which you probably haven't got, why don't you go down to your park and you could sail it on the local lake?
Tell you what, we haven't christened it. I'll go and get a bottle of ginger beer or something.
Wonderful. I'll come with you.